No, that's wrong. Dixie Diamonds 443. Mets 1:52 a.m., Dixie 9:52 a.m. Balloony, whether from a deep desire not to subject ourselves to Maxima Brent's evil or from a realization that while trying, convicting, and sentencing Brent Brentsey for attempted murder would be the ideal solution in regard to dealing with the psychopathic charlatan, that a far more pleasant and easily achieved intermediary step was seemingly dangling within easy reach. Wishing to discuss this alternate plan with Richard Kelball, rather than this subjecting ourselves to the planned deep telepathic link within the festering swamp of Maxima Brent's psyche, Z established the weakest of observation links with Kelball. Through his observation link, Bigby observed that, having reached the Brisbane River, Kelball was currently halfway across the Victoria Bridge and had a mere 5 more city blocks to traverse before arriving at the Mary Street police station. Richard, Z gently telepathed, I see that you're minutes from work. When you have some time, I have data and questions for you. I likely have 5 minutes, Kelball replied. Would you like to start now, or is this the sort of thing we'll need to hash out once we've begun? I'm confident we can start now and explore more later. I did a deep dive within Minima, and a more superficial one with Brent. The most telling information I gleaned from Minima was this statement that Maxima said to her. Balloony, telepathing what Maxima had told his wife with Max's voice and intonation, said, You can be sure of one thing. If these bastards find us guilty and stick us in prison, I got a guy who'll make sure that de Rosier regrets ever having screwed with us. That much I promise you. Returning to his own voice, Balloony said, I'd say that's a credible threat, but my question is, given the ample evidence you have with their attempt to escape to Indonesia, why aren't you going after what is easily proven and then move forward with Brent's murder trial? Are there jurisprudential issues involved of which I'm unaware? I ask because while I was linked with Brent, I observed one of his fellow inmates harassing and obliquely threatening him. The harassing inmate, a magnificently muscled man named Sven Lizak, was working out very close to where Brent was performing his knee rehabilitation exercises. Brent finds his rehabilitation exercises difficult and painful, and as he performs them, he utilizes a mantra wherein he speaks the syllables of Grant Montserrat, the sailor who shattered his knee on board the Rochelle. As I said, this Lezak was harassing and intimidating Brent for being weak and annoying, but once he learned that Brent is the man who was in the newspapers for his attempted escape, Lezak went from confrontational to conversational. After confirming that Brent was the man who had tried to escape and that he had been charged with attempting to hijack the destroyer, Lezak was affable. While Brent did not admit to his criminal activity, he did admit that yes, it was he about whom the man had read in the newspaper. My question is, do you have moles within Gory that can provide you with recordings of self-incriminating conversations that could be used to prosecute all 3 Brentseys, and would that suffice so far as sentencing should they be found guilty? Sven Lisak, eh? Richard said aloud. Stabbed a young woman to death when she wanted to end their abusive relationship. Terrible thing. I haven't explored snitches yet, Richard confirmed, but I'm certainly willing to bring any and all Brentseys to trial for any serious charges that will get them locked away for decades if convicted. How would you feel about establishing a superficial-only link with Lezak to see if he's likely to be amenable to a reduced sentence in return for providing us with incontrovertible evidence of a very damning nature? Is that within your moral and ethical boundaries? It is, in a very superficial extent I already have, and based on his psyche, I'd recommend that you speak with him and his lawyer to find out how far he's willing to cooperate and at what price. Roger Wilco, Big B. As you can imagine, there's a lot going on with the Brentsey prosecutions, but I'll fast-track exploring using your muscle man murderer as an avenue for locking up all 3 Brentseys and dismantling their crime network. We'll chat later. I'm always willing, able, and available. Let me know how I can help. Will do, B. Will do, Kelball replied.